Hey everybody, Brian here, and I wanted to show you my latest Beatle finds on vinyl, of course. And the first two I'm going to show you are some of my favorite finds I found in the last, I'd say, about year or so. It's the Red and the Blue album, and they are German pressings. So, uh, as you can tell, maybe you can't tell, but I'll tell you, the outer sleeve here, it's a different type of material. It's kind of like this, like more. It's still glossy, but it's not as glossy as like the normal like British or the American pressings. And the insides are all pretty much the same. It's that really cool picture of the Beatles there in 1968 during their Mad Day Out photo session. And as you can tell, someone who owned this previously has written their name inside, which I never quite understood why people wrote their names in their records. But I guess if they brought them to a party and there were duplicates, they know whose was whose. But these are really cool because, as a lot of you probably know, the German pressings of these Beatle albums are just really, really, really good quality. The sound is amazing. Here's the vinyl. The vinyl itself is in great shape. I've played these probably like two or three times now already, and they sound really, really good. And the Red album is especially cool because it contains different mixes you can't get really anywhere else. And the favorite of mine of those mixes happens to be I Feel Fine. And it has the very famous, well, famous amongst Beatle collectors, whispering version. So before the distortion or before the feedback of the guitar, you hear someone whisper something. I think it's Paul, but I don't know for sure. But someone whispers something, and then you also hear someone cough during the feedback as well. So that's pretty cool to have. And I think it also has unique mixes of, I think "And I Love Her" is a unique mix, and I think also maybe let's see what else is on here. I think no, "All My Love" is not the one with the hi hat intro, the extra hi hat intro. So that's a different pressing. But anyway, a couple of different mixes, which is pretty cool. And for a Beatle freak like myself, it's amazing to have something a little bit different. So that's the Red album, and the Blue album, German pressing as well. And again, it's the exact same picture on the inside there. And this one, the sleeve's in a little bit better shape than the red one, but the vinyl is just as good as the red. Here's the vinyl, like that cool blue background with the Apple logo there. Again, there's side B, and it just sounds really, really good. And what I mean by it sounds better than like the British or the American pressings is that there's a lot more bass. The bass is a little bit more defined on this pressing. Also, the stereo image. So like the UK pressings and the American pressings, they sound good as well. But the stereo image is kind of like right here, right? That's about as wide as it gets. But with this pressing, the image is like this wide. It's just extra wide, which for me is really enjoyable to listen to because you get so much space in the music. You can hear things you couldn't really hear before. So I was super excited to get my hands on the red and the blue German pressings of these Beatle albums, and actually got them both at different places. So glad I found them together. And then I found something else which I'm really happy about, and this is Abbey Road, and this is a 1984 reissue on Capitol Records. And the cool thing about this is that it's on a Capitol Rainbow label. It looks like that. Now, normally, well, in my opinion, you wouldn't really want a Capitol Rainbow label for a Beatles 60s album, just because the sound quality, in my opinion, it's not that great compared to like the British counterparts or the German pressings or whatever. But this reissue for 1984 is really cool because it sounds great. It was the last time they used all tube, all analog mastering equipment for Beatles pressings, and it just really shows. It sounds great. It might be my like second favorite Abbey Road pressing that I own. My first favorite is the British first pressing. That just sounds phenomenal. But this isn't too far behind. And the vinyl, like I said, is in like pristine condition. The actual sleeve is in great shape. There's the back. And the only difference there is that it has the Capitol logo, which is right there. If you can see that. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, this is a really cool find. Glad I found it, and I really love this a lot. So that's Abbey Road, 1984 reissue. So if you ever see one of these on the Capitol Rainbow label, pick it up because you'll really enjoy it. Okay, well, then I also picked up this, Let It Be, and this is a Dutch pressing. So it was made in Holland, and it's in really, really good shape. It's got the red apple there on the back. And as you can see right here, it says made in Holland. And this again sounds really, really good. I'll show you what the label looks like. It's got this different Apple logo here. It's like a lighter green. If you can see that, there we go. It's like a lighter green, and the writing is just a little bit different. And there's side B. Just that lighter kind of apple look. But it sounds really, really good. I'd say it's comparable to my best pressing of Let It Be, which is from the Blue Box that was released in the 1980s. That's my favorite pressing, but this is a second runner-up. It sounds great. And I got this at Record Outlet, and yeah, just a real cool pressing to have. I'm really lately into these, getting the foreign pressings, like, because I already have the American and the British, almost all the American and the British pressings. So it's cool to get these different ones, like this one from Holland, and see it's got this like blue coat up there, which is of course different. So that's Let It Be. Okay, and now I have 2 live albums, and I'll start with this one. Speaking of foreign pressings, this is a Mexican pressing of Live at the Hollywood Bowl. As you can see there, it says Estéreo, and it's got the EMI logo right down here. I have this on Capitol Records, the American pressing, and it sounds good. I played this one though, and this one sounds just as good as my American pressing. Now the thing about the Hollywood Bowl album is that pretty much all the pressings sound good, or pretty good. This is recorded only on 3-track equipment in 1964 and 1965. And it was released in 1977 with a lot of work done by George Martin and Jeff Emmerich. And you know, it's just not the best recording, but it's a really cool historical document to have. And I think it's really fun to listen to. I enjoyed listening to it. There's the front cover, and unlike the American release, it's not embossed. It's just flat. Like on the American one, the tickets kind of pop out at you, and it has like a cool feeling to it. And here is the gatefold. I've always liked this gatefold. I think it's really cool. It's the exact same as the American counterpart. And then here's the back. And this is all the same, except on the American one. Obviously, the song titles are in English and not in Spanish, but here they're in Spanish. And then there's a little bit of Spanish writing at the bottom there too. But yeah, it sounds really good. I was really happy to pick this up and add to my collection. Oh, and another really cool thing I thought. This is actually my favorite part of the whole thing, but it just shows what a Beatle nerd I am. This inner sleeve here with the Beatles collection, and it shows all the Mexican released Beatle albums. I just think that's really cool, and it's in really good shape. And here's what the vinyl looks like, if you're interested. It's a shot of the Beatles playing at the Hollywood Bowl. And the other side lists the tracks on sides A and sides B. Again, this is in really good shape, and I was really lucky to pick it up when I did, and I was excited to add it to my collection because, again, trying to get all these foreign releases or foreign pressings of Beatle albums, because it's fun to hear just slight differences and to see just slight differences in the packaging and stuff. So this is definitely one of those. And last but not least, I got this Beatle bootleg, and it's the Beatles Live in Atlanta, Whiskey Flat. Now, it's a misleading title because this is actually recorded, it's from the Philadelphia concert in 1964, and it was broadcast on the radio, and this is taken from that radio broadcast. And it's got this, it's like reddish orange sticker with a pig on it that says trademark of quality, which is interesting. And this is just stamped on here. This is just some plain thing. And someone has written on the back the track listing with this title of the album and all that. But what's really cool about this is it comes, whoa, almost dropped it there. And this vinyl's really beat up, so I'm not handling it like I was handling the other like really nice pressings or whatever. But still, I played it. It sounds pretty good. But it's this green translucent vinyl, which is pretty cool. Side 1 and side 2. Unfortunately, someone who owned this before has written on there, I guess, just the song titles, but that's cool. Whatever. But I played this, and actually, it's pretty comparable to the Hollywood Bowl recordings. The fidelity is just a little bit below the Hollywood Bowl recordings, but I think the Beatles' energy on this album is actually a little bit better. They seem to be having a little bit more fun, joking around, and overall, it's just really, really it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed listening to it from start to finish. A lot of the Beatle bootlegs of the live concerts are really hard to listen to. Like I have one that's at the Budokan, and while it's interesting to hear, the sound quality is pretty crappy, and the Beatles just seemed like they're really bored. But this is 1964, and they were still, you could tell, enjoying their success, their early success of Beatlemania, and just the craziness of it all. So it's cool to have this. I'm glad I picked this up as well. So that's it for now. Those are my Beatle finds in the last couple of months, I'd say. So I hope you enjoyed checking out what I've recently found. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can do so by checking out my Instagram. It's Needle Meets Vinyl. I also have a weekly all-vinyl podcast called Needle Meets Vinyl, where you can hear some of the tracks on these records on the show. So check it out. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Until next time.